Welcome to the 2025 Dallas ISD Athletic Hall of Fame. I'm Alexis Farrell, and I'm here with sports medicine pioneer, Miss Donna Ramsey. How are you?
I'm excellent. Glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for joining us today.
Yes, ma'am.
You have just a terrific story, so I want to get right into it and kind of start with your time as a kid and going into sports medicine and becoming an athletic trainer.
Okay, this is a story that I don't tell a lot of people, but for some reason, when I was 8 years old, I would grab toilet paper and I would make a cast on my left arm. I had no idea why I was doing that, but I knew I had been put on a path because I love sports medicine. I love athletics. I went to a private school that focused on academics and athletics, and I love my medicine. And then all of a sudden, my dad got transferred, and we went to Dallas, and I went to W.T. White High School.
Wow. So your time at W.T. White, how did you really get into athletic training? Was it there or was it later in college?
It was in college. At W.T. White, they didn't even have athletics for females yet, so there was nothing for me to do. But then when I graduated in 1971, I went to the North Texas State University and began playing volleyball with them. And I played volleyball 4 years there and track 2 and basketball 2. And on my second year at playing volleyball, I needed to see the athletic trainer. And they weren't sending athletic trainers with the women's teams at all. And so the head trainer asked me, he said, "Donna, are you interested in becoming a licensed athletic trainer?" And I'm like, that's sports and that's medicine together. And that's my path that came back to me again in college. And it just carried on.
What do you think made the athletic trainer ask you, "Hey, do you want to do this?" while attending college?
He told me one time that he had spoken to the dean of education in sport, and she had said, given them my name, said, "You should ask Donna Ramsey if she's interested in this." And so he did, and I was like, absolutely, because it's my passion. I loved it. And then it just grew from there.
And I'm sure during that time you got a lot of hands-on experience. So what are some of the things that you saw that you really took with you into your career?
Well, there was a lot of severe injuries, especially during football. And, I love the emergent part of it. I thought at one time about going into physical therapy. I'm like, I love the emergent part. So I like to run. I wanted to be the first one. I want to help someone. So that's how that came about. And I got to experience a lot of injuries with football. That's obvious. So I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
And you were the first female, or one of the first females, to be an athletic trainer, really in the United States.
Yes.
To be full-time at that.
Yes.
How was that for you after graduating college?
Well, because then I applied. I needed, it's time to get a job now that you're through with college. So I went to Dallas ISD and applied. And fortunately, they wanted to give athletics a chance, or females a chance. And then the head athletic trainer, his name was Eddie Lane, and he told me at that point I was the first female. I think full-time at the secondary level are the two key words in the United States. And I was like, really? Okay, I'm still just loving what I do. And, that I just put that in the back.
What did that mean to you once he gave you that opportunity?
I loved it. I finally had still on my path, and I was at a big school district, and I'm working with every sport possible, and it just meant the world to me. I don't have a regret one, for 30 years with Dallas ISD, not one.
And I know that you were at Lowe's Stadium, but then you also were at W.T. White. Can you kind of explain how that worked?
Well, W.T. White was one of the schools I took care of. I stayed at Lowe's Stadium. My office was there, and I did rehab. I went to work at 1, and I did rehab till 5, and then covered whatever games happened there. Yeah, after that, from 5 till 10 every night. Yeah, there was volleyball inside, basketball, soccer outside, football outside, baseball, everything. So it was great.
Did you have any time where you felt a little overwhelmed or felt like, hey, I need some help?
No, I didn't. I really didn't. There was times that people, I would look, and there was like 20 athletes at a time coming in, but it was clockwork, because we just kept doing it, and they knew what to do, and everything was on a schedule. So it worked out wonderful. When I was with Dallas ISD, and there was only 4 of us, 4 athletic trainers covering, we all had a field that we'd take care of, and that's why we all had like 6 high schools and 5 middle schools I did to take care of at our field. And the coaches, they would bring the kids to our facility because we couldn't go to them. And right before I retired, they decided they're going to have an athletic trainer at every school, which is wonderful. I believe there's 26 or more now covering every school, which is great. And I can share this one thing for you. My very first year, I was sent to Pleasant Grove to cover football there first. Before Lowe's, there was an athletic trainer working at Lowe's. And so the male coaches, all of a sudden there's a female athletic trainer there, and they're like, this isn't going to work. But 3 weeks into my job, the coach, I was covering a Skyline game, and the coach brought an athlete over and said, Don, I think he's got a concussion. And I looked at him, and his pupils were unequal, which is life-threatening. And I'm like, oh, no, we have to get this young man to the hospital immediately. So in the process of getting him to the hospital, he passed out, and he stopped breathing, and I had to give him CPR immediately. Yes, and thank the Lord, saved him, and the paramedics arrived, and they took over from there, and he recovered fully. But after that, the coaches went, she can stay. You know, she saved this young man's life.
I saw that you have a lot of athletes that have went on to the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean to you? And can you recall any stories being their athletic trainer?
Like I was the athletic trainer. I had to go with Louise Ritter when she went. Now, she wasn't one of my athletes. We were just friends. And she said she was going to the Olympics, and I got to go with her, and it was for the qualifying trials. And that was wonderful. It's like I got to go to LA, and yeah, it was just remarkable that I could do that and be a part of that.
Any special memories from that moment?
Just being there in LA and watching her win. Yeah, the trials. I'm like, this is amazing. Mm-hmm.
Talk about some of the people that you've mentored.
There's one, my very special one. His name is Greg Gaither, and he went to Thomas Jefferson High School, and he was my student athletic trainer, and he would be on the sidelines with me, and during football games, I would quiz him different questions about injuries, whatever. We did that all the time, and now he is with the Dallas Cowboys. He's been there for 22 years as their assistant athletic trainer, and I am so proud of that young man, because he was on a path. I could tell then he was on a path like I was, and he stayed on it, and he's still doing wonderful.
Can you tell another story that maybe just sticks in your mind and just sticks out and just means something to you?
I remember, there's several of them, but one especially, this young man, it was football, and he was from W.T. White, and he got hit in his lower leg and broke his leg, and it was like a 2x4 breaking in half, and I was like 20 feet from him, and I'm like, oh my God. So I went running to him. I could tell his, so unstable, and so I held him till the paramedics got there and stabilized him, and ended up with surgery. I still have his x-rays. I went the other day. I still have those x-rays from his surgery. And his mom actually wrote to the superintendent at the time and told my story to him, and I got a letter from the superintendent, Mike Moses, actually, thanking me for my job.
That goes to show, and it speaks volumes toward what you have contributed, during that moment. And when you found out about this award, how did it make you feel?
I couldn't believe it. I mean, because like I continue to say, I was just having fun, and I didn't know this was going to turn into something big like the Hall of Fame. I didn't realize that. I'm still trying to grasp that because I'm just enjoying what I do. I love what I do. I continue to do what I do. People still call me for help, and I'm like, I'm always on board. I'm there for them.
You retired in 2008.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. What do you miss most about being an athletic trainer?
Well, I tell you what, I missed it so much. I retired because I've been there 30 years, and I thought, well, I've done my 30 years, and traffic was getting really bad, so I said, I'm going to go ahead and retire. And then I did, and I'm like, I miss this. I don't like not doing this anymore, so I went and met with Texas Health Sports Medicine, and I contracted with them, which led me up to North Central Texas College in Gainesville. And so I was their athletic trainer for another 14 years. Because I couldn't leave it. I loved it, and I had so much fun with them. I'm still friends with them. They still call for injuries, and, I'm just still doing what I love. Wow. I'm blessed.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's great. Especially as the first female to graduate, athletic trainer to graduate from UNT, mm-hmm. Obviously they have a full program now, mm-hmm. and women are doing it every day.
Yes.
You set the tone for that. You set the tone for that. And I know you want to be humble about it, but you really did set the tone for that. So what do you think you left there at UNT for those women?
The opportunity for them to be the same thing I was, a female athletic trainer, and because I'm sure they love it or they wouldn't be doing it, because it's a lot of work. It is. And so they're doing it. They get to have their path as well and love it as much as I did. And I'm so happy for them. Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Now, when you got the news that you were being inducted into the Dallas ISD Athletic Hall of Fame,
yes,
how do you feel?
I was shocked. It's been a while since I retired, and I thought, will this ever happen? And then Corey Eaton, who took my place at Lowe's Field, he called me, and he was with Todd, and said, hey, Don, we'd like to have you inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I was speechless. I'm like, yes, sir. What an honor. And I'm still trying to grasp what it really means because it's overwhelming, but I love it. And I'm so grateful that this is going to happen in my lifetime.
Absolutely. You deserve it.
Thank you.
Congratulations
Thank you.
again. So with your career, what are you most proud of?
Wow. I think the thing I'm most proud of now that I'm really realizing this is that I was the first female athletic trainer and it has made an imprint on other women to do the same thing and love it because I didn't think of it back then. I was just doing what I wanted to do and I just kept doing it and it just turned out perfectly for me. And I know I keep repeating myself, but that's what happened.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And for other female athletic trainers who want to maybe pursue that field, what maybe words of advice or something that you learned that has stuck with you throughout this entire time of this process in your life? What would you say to them?
For new female athletic trainers, I want them to be prepared to know that that's what they want to do for a lifetime because there's a lot of work to it, but it's so rewarding. It's just when you heal somebody, it's just the best thing that you could ever do. And I love it, and I hope that they could do the same thing and love it as much as I did. It's just great.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Donna Ramsey. Thank you so much. Congratulations on being inducted into the 2025 Dallas ISD Athletic Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.